you know it's a bad sign when there's a VTuber that frequently streams in their PLs more than their in their corpo versions. That's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. We've seen it multiple times. I think the most recent example and the most notorious example we've seen it in is Lando, Professor Lando, and like yeah, rough. Like my cat, yeah, my cat is yeah, Mikaneko is also fucking Michael is also a thing, but I feel like Mikaneko might be an exception because I think V Shoujo is treating her well. It's just that her priorities are different. Like right now, she has a little gig with her voice ore thing, where she's going to voice act in a show, and she'd rather stream on her Mikaneko account because she gets more numbers there. She gets more money there. Yeah. Mm. Bro, these VTuber agencies more than my ex at my door, and then they disappear after getting their money. It depends because most VTuber agencies don't even get money. Like for example, Waktor. Waktor Waktor is the next. I'm going to cover Waktor's story in the next video, probably releasing in the next 2 or 3 days because I'm still adjusting a lot of things. Waktor has been in the scene since 2018, right? But according to was it according to Miss Orahina, Waktor was in the red. They barely made any fucking money. And right now, all of their talents are collapsing. They're literally fucking broke as shit. No, there's literally nobody active in the agency anymore. So it's like, yeah, it's very rare for agencies to make money. In fact, in multiple agencies, they barely make any money until the next year or so when they eventually start selling merch. Because I don't know if you guys know this. Probably a lot of you knows this, but the biggest revenue stream for VTuber agencies will always be the merch and merch, voice thingies, and conventions. Those are it. They don't really earn much from donos unless they're in fucking they have like very massive pay pigs. For most corpo is merch. Yeah, it's merch. Even Idol mentioned that Avial is expected to make revenue after 5 years or something. Sundaria went under because of the lack of income. Yep. Yep. These people, a lot of VTuber agents. Well, it's not just VTuber agencies. I would think. I would think it's actually a company thing in general. A lot of VTuber agencies they kind of rely on injections like investments or like crowdfunding to be supported. That's why a lot of people they would rather make a VTuber group than a VTuber agency. Because as a VTuber group, you are a group, you pull in resources together, but you don't necessarily have to pay for like, staff and everything. He said the money was coming in good. He said the money was coming in and they were doing good, but it was all going towards advertisement, talents and other things like art managers and clippers. Yeah. Like Idol is investing a lot of their stuff into avenues that could potentially make them more money in the future. And that makes sense. They're coming in here raw and no rubber, going hats off, going full condoms off, all that kind of shit. Yeah, it makes sense. Sakana on the interview just said that Phase Connect is on green lately. I mean, with the amount of fucking merch that Sakana is making and like producing, yeah, man, I would not expect any much from that, especially with the recent rise to power right now. If you had to start a company, what would you start money-wise, talking figuratively? Wait, what do you mean? If you had to start a company, what would you start money-wise, talking figuratively? I mean in terms of money and investment. Oh. Well, for one, round one seeding for all that kind of stuff usually comes from friends and family, right? Or like acquaintances. So I'd probably start trying to pitch myself and my stuff from there. And then when I want to go corporate, because you have to remember, chat, people that like to invest in VTuber agencies and in companies, they don't really give a shit or know anything about the industry. So you can lie to them. You can lie to them about a lot of stuff, exaggerate a lot of details. It's gonna be lit. So yeah, I'm probably going to pitch to them with using Hololive numbers. Is that a scummy thing to do? Yeah, kind of. Because realistically, I'm never gonna hit the same kind of Hololive numbers that Hololive's. I'm not gonna reach the same kind of numbers that Hololive reaches. But if I want investments, I think it's common practice. Is all I'm saying. Yeah. And then that's probably where I'm gonna start. If I were going, yeah, if I were going to start a VTuber agency, at most I would probably start with around 50K USD. I mean, back then you can probably like back then in like 2021 or something, 2020, 2022, you can probably start a VTuber agency with like 20 something brand, 20 something dollars. Yeah. Sakana said that he started with 50K too. Yeah, that's usually like around a good benchmark, I would think. Obviously, the more the better. Like if I get like 200K, whew, yeah. If I get 200K, I'm probably gonna get Iron Vertex stuff. But in 50K, I'm not gonna get like those cracked triggers and those cracked artists because they charge a lot of money. I'm probably gonna get like, obviously, I'm gonna prioritize on good art and then have like a second rate rigger to do the job. I saw someone on Twitter who was like, I want to start a new VTuber agency. I'll need $500,000 and get it up ground. Maybe I can crowdfund it. I was like, yeah, nah. Yeah, nah. You don't even $500,000 for a VTuber agency is a bit much, in my opinion. Obviously, the more money you have, the better. But Jesus fucking Christ, imagine asking to get a fucking VTuber agency get crowdfunded for $500 too. That sounds like a scam more than anything. Jesus fucking Christ, that's too much. And that's too, even if it's not a scam, that's too idealistic. Like, I feel like the reason why a lot of VTuber agencies fail is because of that kind of mentality. I feel like a lot of people, a lot of corpos or businessmen, they think of the idea, hey, I want to start a VTuber agency, and then just start it. They don't do any research, they don't do any market research, and even if they do, it's like surface level and they just watch Hololive and Nijisanji and VShojo stuff. They don't actually look at the actual market. Like, well, fucking obviously, Nijisanji, VShojo, Hololive, they're like the big people here, but they're not supposed to be the ones that you should look at as reference for growth. In my opinion, I think you should look at Ian, Phase Connect, Production Kawaii. Those are like the more reasonable examples that you can use as a frame of reference more than anything. Because those people have been here for a long time. Well, Ian has been here for like a year or so, but their growth has been relatively stable and great. But yeah, those are the two. Those are the agencies that I would use as a frame of reference. Obviously, those are not gonna be who I would use to pitch to investors, but realistically speaking, those are gonna be it. Yeah, I don't think that person had any management experience either. They were an artist. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Yeah. Like, and even then, right? And if these fucking dumb businessmen or whatever is going to want to start a VTuber agency, at least get like experts in the fields, you know, like people that are in the know, people that actually study this industry. I'm not referring to me, obviously, just me. Obviously, there are a lot of us here that are also aware of the deeper or the more, you know, that are in the know with how the industry is going and are following how this industry goes and how the community plays. But a lot of corpos don't do that. Biggest example would be, I think, fucking the recent one, fucking the Global VTuber project, the Global VTuber Awards. They're not starting a VTuber agency, but I think if they wanted to appeal to the general population, not the general population, to the general VTuber community, they should have gotten someone that was in the know. Because the main criticism for their CEO was that when she talked about VTubers, it became very much obvious that she knew jack shit about VTubers. She's not one of us, basically. See, that requires venture capitalists and understanding the market they're getting into, Lamau. Yeah, exactly. That's what they're not doing. I would have used V-Reverie as a frame of reference too. Yeah, generally any VTuber agency that has been in the any general VTuber agency that's been surviving for a long time now, and that has turned up a relatively decent profit. Even if they're not exactly profitable, as long as their numbers are good and that they're seemingly making good money, that's a good frame of reference. Obviously, we will never know anything of any behind the scenes stuff that will happen in any of those agencies, but you know what I mean. Thanks, Shady, for the super chat. Corporative tip. Remember, always use underpaid, under-recognized third world country people to use some depression problems to do the heavy lifting. True. Chat, why do you think fucking VTuber agencies hire people from Southeast Asia? Yeah, 100%. Do you guys know that most managers are actually from Southeast Asia? Yeah, it's because it's fucking cheap there. And a lot of them have good experiences. Throw a manager in Southeast Asia like $800 a month and they'll be happy. Like 500, $800 a month, they'll be happy. Not because of talent. Well, I mean, in terms of talent, you don't necessarily have to hire Southeast Asians or like generally multilingual people, because at the end of the day, the talents are gonna look at your contractual terms and like how much percentage cuts that the agency will take from them. But management gets a fixed rate, like a fixed paycheck. And $800, $600 to $800 in Southeast Asian countries, especially for a talented one, is good enough. I mean, aside from the whole fucking greed thing and the whole people that wants to get into the VTubing thing because they thought it makes a lot of money, a lot of CEOs generally also just wants to create a VTuber agency because they want to have a harem. They just want to be surrounded by a lot of girls and girls that they can power trip and tell what to do. I feel like that's one thing that a lot of VTuber agencies, a lot of VTuber CEOs, I mean, are looking forward to whenever they want to make that CEO. Akio Air mentioned, it's not just Akio Air, chat. Obviously, that's the biggest example that we have right now, but it's not just Akio Air. There's probably, we already have a lot of VTuber agents, like for example, Meow, right? Meow was in that kind of situation. I don't know, I forgot I saw Pipa's fucking interview and I forgot a lot of the details. I don't know if Meow intentionally did that, but yeah, a lot of VTuber CEOs generally want that. But sometimes because women, like the VTubers that they hire, they see that their CEOs are rich and, are very capable. They suck up to the CEO, probably feed their ego, probably offer them all kinds of services, and then, the CEO obviously bites, and then the member gets all these amenities, and then you have a fucking Waktor situation. Or allegedly, Mitsuru Gilia fucking, yeah. It's gold diggers. In some way, I can't blame them, chat, because you have to fucking realize a lot of the VTubers that join agencies, they're broke, they don't have money, and they're menheras. And they see a very capable man that can provide for them and, can give them what they want. Obviously, there's gonna be some thoughts bubbling in there, Yeah, thoughts of self-preservation instincts pop up. It's a bit more nuanced than I make it out to be. Yeah, that's the idol industry also. Yeah, true. Like, there are so many stories of CEOs banging their idols. Like, not just CEOs, like managers too. Like, generally any higher up or a person of power fucking their idols and fucking the people that they're handling. There's too many in the industry. Again, not just in VTubing, but I think in the entertainment industry in general.